Welcome to our January 15th update of the Lifeboat Academy and where we are and what we're planning on doing this week. Very excited to have you all here. And for those of you who are just seeing this as a first introduction to the Lifeboat Academy, we are a model of resilience and regeneration at the person, place, and community level. And for us, lifeboats are personal, local, place-based resilience networks. And our goal at the Lifeboat Academy is not simply to create our own lifeboat here on Pender Island, also known as Sedaeus in British Columbia, but also to be the anchor for a fleet of lifeboats and to help create a mutual support network of people who are all trying to figure out how we can boost our community resilience in the face of whatever might be coming. So we start, as always, by acknowledging the land. We acknowledge the land because the land is what unites us and connects us. And when we say we acknowledge the land, we are acknowledging the web of all of our relations, human and more than human, and our connection to the earth itself, which is the source of all sustenance and from which all things spring and to which all things return. And so by acknowledging the land, we acknowledge our interdependence and our responsibility of being in right relationship with all of our relations. And we also acknowledge in that act that we are incredibly grateful to the indigenous cultures of the world who have kept this wisdom alive at the face of great hardship, in the face of great hardship, and who are still generous enough to share it with us and help us, who are coming from a more Western dominant colonizer kind of culture, to help us reconnect with those connections at a time when we desperately need it. And so in doing so, I specifically tip my hat to the Wasanic, who are the people who have been the caretakers of the land on which I live now for time immemorial and continue to be caretakers of the land and a presence here in the community. And also to all indigenous cultures around the world. And so we'll start as we normally do by doing a quick round and answering the basic question, what has our attention at the moment? And today's circle looks like Ronnie, Roland, and then me. So Ronnie, over to you. What has your attention at the moment?
Well, we have our first annual planning session tonight over Zoom. And we have a few people signed up, and they're kind of from different walks of life and different relationships that we have as the Lifeboat Academy. So I'm really excited to kind of see how what comes out of us all being together, and just really diving into this process that we've been planning. We've been planning the planning process for a few weeks now, so it's go time, which is exciting. Over to Roland.
Yeah, likewise, I'm curious about this evening and how the subsequent planning sessions shape up and build towards the design charrette. Over to Ben.
Yeah, no surprises here. Ditto from me. I'm excited to see what the conversation produces and where it all goes. So without further ado, then let's talk about what that planning process looks like. So over to you, Ronnie.
So as I mentioned, our first planning session is tonight, and we're going to be going over lessons learned from the whole past year, as well as guiding principles for this process and for the Lifeboat Academy at large. And that session's today at 5 p.m. Pacific over Zoom. And then our second session is also this week, this coming Thursday, the 18th at 5 p.m. Pacific on Zoom. We'll be covering our available resources that we have to work with, different relationships that make up the Lifeboat Academy and the network, and also covering what our goals are both broadly over the next 10 years, and then what goals are we zooming in on for 2024. And then our third session will be happening next week, a week from today, on Monday, the 22nd at 5 Pacific. And we'll be going over our functional areas for at least this year, and coming up with requests for proposals that we will then send out to our broader community. And then following the third session, we will have individual action planning sessions for each of our guilds. And those will happen from between the 29th through February 12th, more details forthcoming. And then all of this hard work will culminate in our design charrette, our second annual charrette, which will be the weekend of February 16th through the 18th, and more details forthcoming for that as well. So stay tuned.
Roland, do you have anything that you want to add? That was pretty complete. So, then updates on some things that have been going on here. I'll cover the updates on getting ready for the planning. If you've been following along, you know that we're using a Miro board. We'll post the link to that Miro board in the comments for the YouTube video. And so you can always click on the Miro board. It is meant to be your one-stop shop and your opportunity for asynchronous engagement with the process. So you can always click on that. All the work that we do in the Zoom sessions will get recorded on the board, and you can continue to add to that work. And some of the things that we've added and updated. We've added an asset mapping process that's going to be part of the session 2 work together. And we've put in our information about our actions this year against our plan. And we've also added in our 10-year goals, which are drawn from our business plan, our prospectus of the whole reason why we exist, the social benefits that we're trying to accomplish. We've also sent out invitations, and we will continue to send out invitations to let people know how you can get involved. And we've also, in the idea of asynchronous involvement, Miro has a feature called talk tracks. And we have recorded 2 talk tracks. One is a welcome and gives you the overview of what's on the board. And then the first one walks you through session 1. So even now, if you wanted to, you could go in, listen to the talk track, and add your ideas to the board if you can't make it for the meeting tonight. And we'll record additional talk tracks for the session 2 and session 3. And we continue to crunch numbers. Part of what we aspire to is being empirical and data-oriented and action-oriented. So we've had a year of working, and we're looking back at what we've accomplished over the last year. So that'll also be information that'll be available throughout the planning process and into the charrette. And actually, I'll just double check. Is there anything, Ronnie or Roland, that you want to add? All right. Then over to Roland to talk about other stuff that's been going on.
All right. Well, as the title indicates, I'm talking about relationships. We had a really wonderful meeting with Elizabeth May. We had the opportunity to meet her really lovely husband, John Kidder, and they are both, I'm feeling a little verklempt because they were both very encouraging and interested in our project and what we were presenting to them, and have requested that we continue to communicate with both of them in their separate ways. And that is, for me anyway, it feels like a huge boost in terms of what we're working on and what we're working towards. So I guess it's also an encouragement for anyone who's just logging on for the first time to go look at our materials and familiarize yourselves with what we're doing. Along with the meeting with Elizabeth May, we also had Heather Pritchard, who was visiting here and was part of the meeting with Elizabeth May. Heather Pritchard, we've talked about her before. I consider her as part of our team. She is with BC Foodlands Co-op. And part of the meeting with Elizabeth May was to talk about um, looking at different formats that could be available for both us and for the organizations that the BC Foodlands Co-op work with. In particular, in terms of charitable status. Additionally, we've received 3 new expressions of interest kind of out of the blue. 2 of them through our lovely partners at Co-Housing BC, Coho BC. So they've been putting out information about us, and we've gotten some bites. So we're hoping to hear and continue to our exchanges with these new contacts. And we mentioned it a few times already, but we're really, 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 really close to having the website finalized. It should be launched soon. We don't yet have a date, but it should be launched very soon. Of course, once it's launched, we will still be tweaking and changing and learning how to use it for ourselves, so that we can keep you as updated and engaged as possible. So a great big thank you to David Ashima for working with us on that, and we're really excited and pleased with what he's done. And I think that's it. So anything from Ben or Ronnie to add?
I want to add 2 things. One is that Heather Pritchard's official title is Guiding Elder. Which is, so she is our guiding elder, which is just lovely. And also any delays on the website are entirely our fault, not David. David has been totally on top of everything. It's basically it's all been on our side. So the site looks amazing, and he's an incredible professional who keeps everything on track, even with somewhat time problematic clients like us. Anyhow, thank you to David for his patience as well. And so the focus this week then is pretty clear. We've got session 1 tonight, session 2 on Thursday. So we'll either be prepping for or hosting or cleaning up after those sessions. We'll also have another podcast recording with Andy Wildman, our Tasmanian Wildman, on Wednesday. All resources going in the hopper for what is going to be a pretty amazing podcast series. And then we'll continue to be doing office hours. We're going to be on our special, I believe, actually, we haven't really confirmed this, but I think for this week, we're going to still be on our special sort of modified office hours, 10 o'clock on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 10 to noon Pacific time. So if you're available during those office hours, feel free to stop by. We have the links on a number of different places, including on the help desk and in the emails that you should all be getting. So I think that is that. I will go once more around the circle for any final thoughts or closing thoughts. Over to you, Ronnie.
Just really looking forward to our sessions this week and getting to connect with some people that I haven't gotten to connect with in a while. So yeah, just grateful to be part of this project. And please don't hesitate to get involved, even if you have the slightest inkling, because there's lots of ways to support, even if you're just a fly on the wall. It's really, really great to have you. So don't be shy. Over to Roland.
Just have a good week, everyone. Also, in terms of the sessions, you don't need to come to all the sessions. We encourage you to come to all the sessions, but if you just want to come and check things out at one of them or some of them, that's perfectly fine as well. So hopefully we will see you all there. Over to you, Ben.
Yeah, ditto. Different strokes for different folks, and we try to figure out how everyone can fit in. Our goal is to weave together our strengths in such a way that our weaknesses become irrelevant. And so all the perspectives that we can gather that you're willing to share with us are really valuable. And probably the biggest benefit is you get an opportunity to connect with other cool people, not just us. I'm not saying we're the cool people. There are other cool people who are part of this, and you get to meet them and interact with them. And so, yeah, encouraged to attend. It's a low stress, no guilt invitation. But hopefully, if you can make it, you'll get some benefit out of it. So I think that's it. Have a good week. Hopefully, we'll see many of you either tonight or Thursday or coming up soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.